Pessoal, dando início a mais um programa Contrato Social Podcast, agora em Nova York. Estamos aqui muito perto do Times Square e hoje com o Adam Matt, que é um amigo nosso também, um grande estudioso na matéria de sustentabilidade. Adam Matt, thank you for participating in our program, in our podcast Contrato Social.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Adam, our audience is from Brazil, our viewers are from Brazil. We have many entrepreneurs, lawyers, researchers, leaders. And our first question to you is, can you tell us about your journey?
Yeah. My journey is a very strange one. I am a musician, but at the same time I do so much work in climate. And when I was a kid, I was always obsessed with doing music, but when I was a student, I was always obsessed with the human side of things. So I studied human rights. Wow. Even in high school. There was a human rights class in my high school, and we ended up taking a trip to see somebody speak, and this person was Mary Robinson. She was the President of Ireland, and she was also the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights. And she inspired me so much when I was 16 years old, and it was just a huge opportunity for me to put my mind in a place where I could do something really creative and academic at the same time. And I think that having those two worlds, creativity and the academic world, merging is the thing that inspired me to do all the work that I'm doing now. And so I pursued both. I'm a musician, and I spend a lot of my time, especially at night, doing music. And during the day, I do climate policy.
So, Adam, you studied at University of Birmingham?
Yes.
And you did the PhD in Doctor of Philosophy of Human Rights, Law and Sustainable Development.
Correct.
Correct? And what's your future plans for this?
Well, currently I'm using that PhD by teaching. I teach at Columbia University now. But at the same time, what I developed in my PhD is a way to engage local communities and indigenous communities for owning renewable energy projects around the world. Because so much money is going into the transition to solar and wind, but not a lot of them are being owned by the local communities themselves. And if we can provide new revenue sources for these communities, that's a huge benefit. So I looked at Kenya, I looked at Canada, and I looked at Bangladesh, and those three places as models for how we can ensure that local communities are owning the projects.
Adam, could you explain to us and to our viewers about Planet Reimagined?
Absolutely. So Planet Reimagined is based on the idea that so much research is done around climate, and very rarely does it translate to action. Does it translate to policy or building a movement or getting people out into the streets? Very rarely does that happen. At Planet Reimagined, we do research with an eye towards how can we make it real in the world. So every project, whether we're working on water or cities or agriculture or energy, is we build research and we turn it into some sort of concrete policy. We have stuff in front of the Supreme Court of Nepal right now,
cool.
And they're using our research to determine where they're going to put a dam. We have a big policy that was just passed with bipartisan support in front of the US government, and now we are building renewable energy on top of former oil and gas land across the West, which has never been done before.
Adam, how can you manage to be a professor at Columbia University? That's one hat, researcher, and also be a member of the band with your brothers Jack and Ryan, AJR.
How do I manage it? I mean, I don't think I could do all of these things if I wasn't doing all of them, honestly. On the music side, building a band, we're pretty independent. So building a band like that, I use the same strategies for creativity on the music side as I do in building policy. When you're building a fan base in music, it's the same thing as building a movement, right? You're bringing people into this movement, trying to get them excited about something, trying to get them to participate. I don't see them as two different things, but also I don't sleep very much.
Adam, Brazil next year will host COP30 at Belém do Pará.
Yep.
do Planet Reimagine have any plans for Brazil?
Yes, we do. They're secret plans and we can't talk about them, but we've been strategizing of ways to look at carbon markets, of ways to look at carbon taxes, of basically how Brazil can be a leader around new approaches to carbon and they can bring countries together. COP is a thing that happens year after year, and so many times there are commitments made that aren't kept. But I think Brazil can be a leader on climate if they really bring people to the table over issues in advance.
Adam, what is your message to the Brazilian population?
To the Brazilian population, you have the majority of one of the most important natural resources on the planet, and that is the Amazon rainforest. And I've been there and seeing firsthand how it produces life, how it protects people. It is not just important for Brazil, it is important for the world. And protecting that and understanding the value of it is so key. We around the world understand it, and we thank you for being stewards of the forest, and we want to do everything we can to help you protect it.
Pessoal, eu queria agradecer a participação de vocês até esse presente momento. Foi uma alegria aqui fazer esse bate-bola aqui com Adam Matt. Matt, I want to thank you a lot for participating with us.
Thank you.
E até a próxima, pessoal.